I've been buying silver for 11 years. I've been making videos about silver and gold for 10 years. In fact, 10 years next week. And it's just one of the most basic things that I got to grips with right at the very start that I see people ignore, not understand, or just quite frankly get wrong. And that is the aspect of premiums and selling gold and silver that have premiums. Now look, I am not an investment advisor. I'm not somebody who can tell you what to do with your money, but it's, in my opinion, one of the most important aspects of collecting, investing, stacking, anything that's precious metal related. Also, to a certain degree, anything that's collectible. Understanding a market for something, understanding what constitutes this mythical term premium on top of things. Because if you get to grips with it, and it took me a little while, I'll admit, but I didn't jump in and buy anything until I'd really honed down what I understood about the markets for this. You'll be much, much better off, not just from a financial perspective, because you'll have a proper plan for the things that you buy, but also you'll be able to understand how to buy the things that you might like, that you might want to collect, that you might end up gaining more money on as a premium over time. But without the knowledge, you can't get the gain, and you have to put in the effort, the energy, and have a good long hard think about it. Now this also relates to the situation that's going on right now with the Era Britannias. I don't have any Era Britannias in my possession at the moment. I've run out of consignment sales that people have been sending me in, and my two are still off at NGC being relabeled from the grading error where they didn't put mint error on the label. So premiums are as I said, the amount of money on top of something that you would have to pay if you want to buy the item. Now, that can come as a little bit of a weird concept for some people who are just very much in the stacking mentality, because ultimately, this is a 10-ounce silver Queen's Beast Griffin, one of the most beautiful coins ever made out there. It's got a really nice design, very, very high premium at the moment. Spot price on that is like £430, but I wouldn't let that go for around, or less than, I'd say, £800 at the moment. But when we dig through the Queen's Beast collection and we find the ugly, ugly bull, this is one that gets a lot of hate. I quite like the bull, but it's certainly no griffin, and it has a lower premium, but they're both still 10 ounces of silver at the end of the day. But if I was to price these up, I'd put this around £800. I'd put this around £600. And then you get another 10-ounce silver piece. Could be a 10-ounce generic bar of silver. I'd put that around £500. You see the point here that not all 10 ounces of silver are made equal. And that's because of the different factors that make up the desirability, and also the different market factors that make up the desirability and affordability of these coins. These are not easy to come by. For example, the Era coins, there's only 209 out of there in existence. And as far as I'm aware at this time, we've only seen around about 11 or 12 come to market and actually be sold. There may be others changing hands behind the scenes that I've not heard about, but that's a very, very small, look, I've even hid the completer away. That's a very small percentage of the market, and therefore there is going to be demand. Now, some people have been saying it's hype, and hype does play a role in the world of coin flipping and coin desirability. And the long-term sustainability of a price point is an important factor to bear in mind. And I don't know where those Era coins are going to settle up at the end point, but anything is possible and anything can happen in the world of coinage. In fact, whilst we've got the Queen's Beasts out, let's have a look at the completer in the 1 ounce gold proof. Now, this is a coin that has a ridiculous premium on top of it. This coin last sold at auction for £15,000. It's 1 ounce of gold. An ounce of gold right now is £3,000. Does that mean that being 3 times the price of gold, you're ostensibly ripping somebody off who's buying it for £15,000? No, because it has desirability, collectability, it has premium on top of it based on its scarcity, rarity, and what it stands for and what it represents. And that simple concept of understanding market economics is very, very basic, but it sometimes seems to be a bit of a stretch for some people, because the stacker mentality is everything has to be the same price. Everything that is not, well, even like some people don't understand about I've seen some serious hypocrisy going on about numismatics. I only deal with numismatics because I don't believe in the hype. The Era coins are a numismatic coin. They're an exact example of a numismatic example of a coin error that is so desirable and so rare. And the fact that that error coin even exists is just an incredible feat of confluence of events that happen to get that coin to exist. And that coin is going to be desirable for a very long time. Now, where you can come unstuck with this kind of mentality is that if you write everything that has a premium off, you miss out on opportunities. For example, when I bought this coin, this was brand new from the Royal Mint. A proof coin from the Royal Mint at the time was about 50% over the intrinsic price of the gold spot. So I think, I knew I paid 2,300 for this. So I think at the time spot was probably around about £1,500, something like that. So for me to drop 2.5 grand, including the grading fees, on this coin at the time, that's a big commitment. And if you're going to sell this and you take it to a bullion dealer, of course you're going to get shafted, not by the bullion dealer. The bullion dealer's not ripping you off. That's just how it runs. Bullion dealers are bullion dealers. They're not specialist numismatic dealers. However, take this to a specialist auction house or find a buyer yourself, build a social media platform, work hard for 10 years and get a platform with 100,000 subscribers. If I did a formal sales video on this saying, hey, it's up for sale, it's over on my eBay page, go and buy it. I would never put this on eBay, but my point still stands. People are going to find it. People are going to buy it. You bring people to a market, they will be interested in a product. That is just the nature of it. Does that mean that you're ripping people off? No, of course not, because you're getting the market. It's a market. It's a standardized thing that's been around for a very long time. Now, there are a lot of really bad things that can come along with this, where you get charlatans and you get fraudsters and you get scammers that will try and take advantage of these kind of situations. And you get your coin flippers who will try and maximize on hype. Do I agree fundamentally with the idea of coin flipping? No, but at the same time, there's always a number for any coin. If somebody came to me today and said, I want to buy both of your error coins off you for £10,000 a piece, I'd be a bit stupid to say no to that for a couple of reasons. One, I'd get 20 grand in my pocket for my 2 error coins. I'd probably promptly go out and buy another one for 4 grand and still be up in value because I'd still have one. There's always a number for anyone. And for anyone who is always saying that, there's a level of hypocrisy because everyone has a number. And you can sit on your high horse as much as you like about these things, but everyone has that number hidden away inside their soul as to what they would do it. You look at, for example, a prominent politician here in the United Kingdom who was gifted £5 million by a crypto billionaire. Would you turn down £5 million if you were offered it? No, of course you wouldn't. There are certain circumstances where one might have to think hard about it. If you were, for example, running to be Prime Minister and there are other issues that are at stake around that visibility, about the transparency of that. And that's the situation that's happening right now, for sure. But ultimately, people are not going to say no to that. And for example, with the same politician who's been paid £270,000 by a bullion company to create a little bit of content and be a brand ambassador for them, if a bullion company offered me £22,000 an hour, hint, Lawrence at Chards, I'd be very, very honoured to bill you for £22,000 an hour. Would I turn it down? Of course not. It's the same reason as I don't turn down certain sponsorships on my channel, because I've worked hard to get to where I am and that's just part of it. But I also have a degree of integrity that will disclose these things. When we get sponsors in, we'll tell you about them. We'll not be pushy about them. We'll not sell them. That's sort of braving into a topic for another time, for example. What I want to get back to, though, is the element here of, if you understand this market or this dynamic of premiums versus intrinsic value, the spot prices of things, you can then better understand how to get the returns out of something. So if you see a product out there that you like and you want to buy it and you buy it and it's got a premium to it, you've got to then remember, if you take that to a bullion dealer, you probably lose a lot of premium. And I've said it for nearly 10 years on all of my own bits of poured silver, for example. If you buy my poured silver at a premium and you take it into even Lawrence Jard at Jards, they're going to pay you spot price for it and you'll lose money on it. But you stick my products on eBay, they'll get sometimes more than I even charge for them when I put them up for sale. If you put my products onto social media, there will be collectors, there will be followers of our channel that like my products, that want to buy my products, and they will buy them. I have had a few snotty messages from people in the past that bought my products and they said they took it into a bullion dealer and they got spot price. And all my reply can be, well, I'm very sorry that happened. If you'd maybe had a look around to see how you might be able to sell that product in a better way, you might have got more money for it at the other end of its life cycle. And is that my fault? Is that my problem? No, But I've been constant with my messaging and my brand for 10 years now, and I think that's really important. But we extrapolate that back out to the same thing of anything with premium attached to them. You know, here we have 3 beautiful sovereigns. I love these sovereigns to bits. These are part of my sort of legacy collection of the sovereigns I've got. All 70s, all worth significant amounts of money, especially the 1989 one. If I take these into a bullion dealer, might get a little bit more than spot for them. Probably not a great deal more. Depends on the dealer, quite frankly. But I don't do that. I leave clear instructions in my will, in my drop-down dead document for Mrs. Backyard Bullion. Drop these into Coins of the Realm auctions, or take them to Sovereign Rarities auctions. You know, these are very, very sought-after coins that will have legacy to them that people will want. And if you don't understand that simple concept, then you shouldn't be buying premium stuff. And that's on you. It's not on the people who sell the premium stuff. For example, are all the auction houses out there ripping people off? Are all the dealers who sell items at premiums ripping people off? No, it's simple business. And if you don't get that, you shouldn't be in this game. You shouldn't be in this game. So that's my thoughts on it. Ultimately, the responsibility lies with you. Education is key. I don't pretend to know everything. I've been at this for 10 years. I still learn things every week. And I will be damned if I stop learning, because learning is one of the most important things that you can ever do in this world. So educate yourself, watch my videos, watch other people, ask the community, get involved with the communities, see opinions from both sides. Opinions are really important, and it is very important that we share our opinions, but we have to do it in a way that is respectful. We have to do it in a way that takes into consideration the other side as well. So I can sit here and on my channel I can promote, like we did last week, the Axe of Ganesha, a 5-ounce coin that's been sold at $2,000. I can promote that coin because I know the people that I'm promoting it to get it, understand it. I'm not sitting here saying you have to buy this because it's the best thing that you'll ever buy. You do it responsibly. You take opinion from both sides, and that's what I've always tried to do on the channel. It's what I will always continue to do on the channel, and hopefully we'll get peace and harmony in the world. That's what I want. That's all I want. Like, peace and harmony is the best thing that you can ever have. So there we go. There's my thoughts on it. Cool kids, you know what to do. Thank you all for watching. Actually, you don't know what to do. I haven't told you what to do. I guess you can tell me which is your favorite Queen's Piece. That's probably the best thing to do. So cool kids, you know what to do. Tell me your favorite Queen's Piece down in the comment section below. And watch out for next week. There'll be a big announcement. Very, very big announcement. It's going to be very exciting. Thanks all. We'll see you on the next one. As always, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.